But today what we're going to do is I'm going to do a series of videos for you on how-tos. So how to chop celery, how to prepare it, how to do carrots, etc. So we're going to start on celery, and I'm going to show you what it is that you need to do. So normally I would buy the very long celery, but I couldn't get that this morning for some reason, so I'm just using this one. But now, guys, can you see that as I'm pulling it apart, you can see how dirty the celery is. Now, the soil that it's grown in is obviously, when it grows up through the soil, it's growing in this direction. So some of the soil gets caught. So please, when you're using celery, please make sure that you wash it properly. And you have to rub it, okay? So rub it with your fingers and make sure that you get all the soil off before you use it for your dish. Right, so that's nice and clean now. I've given it a wash, and now I'm going to show you what you can do with it. Now, there's many ways, guys, and please remember, everybody cuts and chops things in different ways. I'm trying to make sure that you keep your fingers out of the way. Now, you can simply hold it with claw hold. Hold your knife correctly, please. Make sure that your fingers are on the right side of the blade and your hand is over the handle of the knife. You can then simply just slice your celery and make sure you're moving it up an even amount so that you get nice slices of celery. But the recipe that I'm going to be doing today is lasagna, and I want very fine chop for that, a fine dice, because I'm making a ragu. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways of doing that. So remember, I always tell you to leave this side on because you're going to throw it away anyway, but at the moment it's going to be good for keeping your fingers safe. Now, I do it if I'm in a hurry and I want to do something very quickly, then I simply take my knife and I slide it slowly down the celery in the kind of dice that I want to have it. So guys, and the slower you go, the more accurate you're going to be. Don't try to be fast at this stage, right? And I just do that, and can you see that it's being held together by the end over here, so it's not going to spread out, right? I'm then going to tuck my fingers in, and I'm simply going to do the rocking motion and bridge. And remember, guys, please always keep your thumb behind your knife, and if you do that, you can't actually slice your finger. So when you get to here, you have to sort of push it a little bit flatter. And then there we go, that protected your fingers, but now you can throw that away. So now, guys, you've got a nice dice there. There's nothing wrong with that dice, and you can use that for most things, but I actually want mine, and I do use that for most things, but I want mine much finer today because I'm making lasagna, and I want a very fine start with all my vegetables. So I'm going to just finish off chopping these much finer, and I'm just going to do a rocking motion to get that, and then I'm going to show you how I would do it if I wanted a very fine dice with celery. Alright guys, so I've done that, and you can see I've got a nice fine dice, but they're not even, and for normal everyday cooking that's absolutely fine. But if you wanted to show off your very impressive knife skills, you're going to do the technique that I do later. So you can absolutely rock your knife from back to front, but I do find that that is a very long way of doing things, and it takes a long time, and the method I'm going to show you now is much quicker. Right, so I've got my piece of celery. Now, we don't want this little bit over here, so we're going to just slice it off. And it's literally just because it's dried out, guys, because it's been exposed to the air, so we don't want that. So I'm going to discard that. Now, when we are doing advanced knife skills and we want something that is a very fine dice and we want it to be equal, we want the vegetable to be as square or as rectangular as possible. So I just trim the top pieces, and you can absolutely chop those up further if you don't want to waste anything. And then once I've got it sort of rectangular, I'm then going to take my knife, and guys, I use a nice big knife, but you can slice it into smaller pieces with a, you can slice it in half and then do these slices like I'm doing. And what I'm doing now is I'm trying to get them sort of match stick thickness. And I'm going slow, guys. You can see I'm going slow just for this bit, and then it starts to speed up when we've got everything to the way that we want it. I'm just going to keep going until I've done the whole thing. which will be now. Right, so there we have it. But now, if we were in a professional kitchen, these would still be too big. Okay, so they're the right sort of width over here, but they aren't here. So again, guys, this is only if you want to do the advanced skills. Now I would slice it in half again so that we've got two pieces of equal length, and then equal width, and then I'll do the same with this one, and I'm going to keep going, and I'll come back and show you what they all look like. Right, so I've done that, and you can see they're pretty equal. I would be concentrating and taking my time a lot more if I wanted them to be absolutely perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to hold them together like a little pile, and again we're going to use claw grip, guys. We're going to use our thumb on the one side and our pinky on the other side to keep it together, and then we're going to do the same thing, just tap them so that they're all together, and then we're going to do the same thing with our knife. We're simply going to rock our knife, and please remember to keep your thumb behind your blade. And you guys are going to go as slow as you need to in the beginning, and guys, you will speed up as you get better, but don't try and do it straight away. And then you can see that you get a very nice small dice, and they are equal, right? And that's celery done.